So here's my stick. Here's my opinion, okay? Pro Football Focus names Texans wide receiver Noah Brown as the Bengals free agent fit. And how I look at this is if we were to bring in, Noah Brown here, which don't get me wrong, Noah Brown's not coming off a greatest season of all time. He's coming off a season where he had a total of 33 catches on 55 targets. He only played 10 games. And he had 2 touchdowns of 567 yards. Still good. Don't get me wrong. Still good. But I feel like if we're going to pay Noah Brown to come to our team over going somewhere else, at that point, you just bring back Tyler Boyd. That's kind of how I feel about this. If you're going to pay the money anyway to go get Noah Brown, just give Tyler Boyd the money and call it quits. Because I don't see us doing this. And it's not because Noah Brown's not a good receiver. I think he's a great receiver, and if he healthy the whole entire season, he would have had an amazing season. But at the same time, though, if the Bengals let Tyler Boyd depart in free agency, they may have in-house replacements with Charlie Jones and, of course, Andre Yoshi. That's why. Because if we're going to let Tyler Boyd go, the assumption, and on my part, I didn't really think about going out and getting another receiver unless you draft one, is that the replacement is already in-house. Yoshi's going to be the replacement for Tyler Boyd. I know he's an outside receiver and Tyler Boyd's a slot receiver. Chuck Sizzle, or Charlie Jones, is more of the slot receiver, but we didn't utilize him at all this year. And I'm not sure if they trust him that much on the offense. I know they trust him on special teams because he's our punt and kick returner. But when it comes to offense, they haven't really utilized him at all. Yoshi, they've utilized plenty. So with us potentially bringing back Trenton Irwin, and then also having Yoshi, right? And also having, again, Chuck Sizzle in there, there's really no reason to go out there and get a wide receiver. Now, I'm not against the idea of bringing in a wide receiver if it's worth the money, like if it's not going to cost us that much, and we just want depth to get, another, new face in the offense. But I truly do believe that Yoshi's going to take a huge step forward next year. I think Chuck Sizzle is also going to take a step forward. And if that's the case, there's just really no reason for us to go out there and get a veteran wide receiver. Because if we want a veteran wide receiver, give Tyler Boyd the money and bring him back. There's just no reason not to. So, looking at Noah Brown, he only played 10 games last year, but according to Pro Football Focus, this is literally the company that posts this article, Pro Football Focus. 75 receiving grade, 74.3 overall grade. And again, he is a solid wide receiver. He played for the Cowboys for most of his career. Went to Houston last year. I'll be honest, if I had to get one guy from Houston, it would probably be Dalton Schultz and not Noah Brown. I'd rather get their tight end than get their wide receiver here. But nonetheless, though, again, like I said, he's a solid wide receiver. And bring him in. He's going to learn the offense probably pretty quickly. He's going to know what he's doing. He's a good veteran. I don't mind it. But if you're going to go veteran, just keep Tyler Boyd. Because even though Tyler Boyd, yes, he wasn't the greatest this year, had 5 drops, which was less, well, actually was the same as Jamar Chase. He had the same amount of drops as Jamar Chase. He also had less drops than T. T had 8 drops. But he did have some critical drops. But I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy to say this. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about this. But I just feel like we shouldn't bring in a wide receiver from free agency. If we're going to spend the money in free agency, I think we should use it for other positions, like offensive lineman, potentially bringing in another right tackle as a backup or, as a depth piece to go with the rookie that we draft. Maybe bring a cornerback in, from free agency. That's a potential possibility. Bringing in a tight end. I don't really love the idea of bringing in a tight end for free agency unless we go for someone who we know is going to be good. Like Dalton Schultz, or we go with someone like Noah Brown Noah Fant, not Noah Brown. He's on my mind right now. Noah Fant, or we go with someone, Krasicki or Hunter Henry. We go with someone that we know is going to be at least solid for us. If not, then I don't want to go tight end because I don't want us to go with the same thing as last year. We went with Irv Smith, and it didn't work out, and it was a huge problem, and it was a waste of money, right? We can't be wasting money here. We can't be wasting time. We have to figure out this tight end position. So if we have to go out there and get it in the draft, we have to go out there and get it in the draft. But other than that, though, I wouldn't mind spending money in free agency on a guard, an offensive guard to compete with Volson. I'm thinking about what other positions. Maybe, I don't want a safety. I'd rather just draft a safety, in all honesty. I don't really want to go out there and get another safety. Nick Scott's a good example. Why not? Maybe linebacker, depending. I know Jermaine Pratt. Well, we have to get someone behind Jermaine Pratt. Keem Davis-Gaither, potentially we lose him. We need to get another linebacker behind Jermaine Pratt. I love Marcus Bailey. He's great. I also love Joe Bacci. Great players, but the problem is we need someone, I feel like, who's actually really, knows what he's doing back there and has some veteran experience. So overall wise, I'm not looking at wide receiver or tight end in free agency unless we're getting one of the top guys, and then I'm okay with it. But just the amount of money it would cost to bring in Noah Brown here, it just isn't worth it. Like, we drafted Yoshi, we drafted Chuck Sizzle for a reason. We need to see what we have in them. We need to see, Yoshi coming off a pretty damn good year, for us after starting the year not really being utilized at all. And then he actually starts getting utilized, and he had 116 yards. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but for how much he was utilized, that's actually a crap ton. I mean, you had 7 games where the guy really did not get much play time at all. And he finishes the year with 115 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think he can take another step forward next season, take a leap, right? Really take off. And again, like I said before, with Charlie Jones, I know he really didn't do much of anything on offense because we really didn't give him any snap count until the final game of the season. But hopefully next year they start utilizing him even more, right? It's kind of funny. His position should be a wide receiver. It should literally just be kick and punt return. That's all he does. But 7 receptions on 9 targets. He had no touchdowns, but he did have 64 yards. And again, like I said, he is, we drafted Chuck Sizzle, right, to be the replacement for Tyler Boyd. And we just didn't utilize him. And now we have Yoshi in there. And Yoshi's an outside receiver. That's the problem. He's not really a slot receiver. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to utilize him more as a slot receiver. So this year, Charlie Jones had 23 punt returns, 1 touchdown, 81 yards with his longest versus the Ravens. Other than that, though, he had 0 kick returns, but he was in that Browns game, the week 18. He was actually the kick returner. We just didn't have any kick returns because the Browns didn't really score any points. But it is what it is, guys. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and as always, tell me your thoughts. What do you think? Noah Brown? At that point, just keep Tyler Boyd. Peace out, guys.